Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Monday Lunchtime Digest for February 2nd, 2026. Happy Monday, Haley.
Happy Monday, Micah.
So, Haley, do you know what is happening right now as we speak?
The 6 more weeks of winter. I know. Just kidding.
Well, maybe,
uh,
maybe that,
but
but also
the
what is happening right now is the legislative session is beginning today at 12 noon. And so the new legislative session has started. There are a couple of bills coming up that I'd like to talk a little bit about today. So we have, uh, let's see if I can click all the right buttons here. But anyway, we have this story from Channel 6 that talks about House Bill 4092, and it would establish a trust fund for 988. And so 988 will end in September if there's not a mechanism to be able to continue to fund it. And so House Bill 492 would help 988 to continue. So that's something we're going to be keeping an eye on. Also, let's talk about this one first. So this is a article from KOSU that talks about all the different types of bills that are coming up. And again, all of these are in our Facebook feed, so you'll be able to read more about them there. But I found this really interesting. So here, Senate Bill 1430 and Senate Bill 1506. Both of those would shift power from appointing the commissioner of the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health from the governor to the governing board. And so, with Allie Friesen, Governor Stitt appointed her. Some people were disappointed, not happy with his appointment of her and her performance. So they are wanting to take power away from him and appointing the commissioner and sending it to the governing board. So that's that legislation. And then on Channel 4, KFOR, in this article, they were talking about Governor Stitt pushing State Joint Resolution 33, which would give the governor the power to choose the state superintendent. So we have all these people jostling around wanting to take power from one and give it to another. So I thought that was interesting. And then, of course, we're going to have all types of other legislation coming up, a lot that we're keeping an eye on. And we are having our legislative town hall coming up here pretty soon.
Yes, our legislative town hall will happen this Wednesday, February 4th, from noon to 1 o'clock. And so we're very happy this year to welcome representation from 9 different organizations. And so this is going to be our largest town hall yet. We have 9 organizations represented. I think we have 11 panelists this year. Everyone has sent me a list of agenda items of bills they would like to discuss. We have narrowed it down to, I believe, 15 bills. And so I don't know if we're going to be able to get through all of those, but we'll probably at least get through the first, I would say, 7 to 10 bills. But that being said, we have a full agenda of legislation that is that could affect mental health in the state of Oklahoma. And so even if we don't get through all the bills, we'll publish the full agenda after we have our legislative town hall on Wednesday. And so join us Wednesday, again, this Wednesday, February 4th from noon to 1. It will take place via Zoom. We'll be in webinar format, so you'll be able to see the panelists. But won't be able to see you, but we'd still like to hear from you. And so anybody who attends live will have the ability to send in any questions they might have in the Q&A. But we will have this available later on as an on-demand course. And so if you're not able to watch this, you will be able to watch it at a later time. And the good thing is this is free for the community. It's free for everyone to log in and watch, so no need to purchase. Just go to counselinginstitute.org and register for our 2026 third annual legislative town hall. It'll be the biggest, most informative yet. I'm really excited to dive a bit deeper into these bills and also talk about what we can do about it if we have one that we have strong opinions on.
Yes, absolutely. And as you said already, that this is free for anyone to be able to join or to watch at a later date. However, it does not count for continuing education. Is that right?
That is correct. It will not count for continuing education, but you will be continually educated by this because we're going to go through a lot of information on Wednesday.
Oh, fantastic. So, Haley, what other news do you have?
So I have some news coming from NPR today. And so we'll be sharing this across our platforms here in a little bit. But according to NPR, the DSM is getting a bit of an update. And so as we know, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual the DSM as we know it. It is put out, new versions are put out about every 15 years or so, with the DSM-5 coming out in, I believe, about 2013. And so we've had revisions, of course, since then. We've had the DSM-5 R revised, which was released, about 7, 8 years ago at this point. But what the American Psychiatric Association is looking at doing is converting this from a manual that's being put out every 10 to 15 years to a living document that will exist online. And so we're not sure if it's going to be called DSM-6 or what the new name for it will be, but what they're looking at is making this a living document for multiple reasons. One, to make it more accessible, because right now the DSM-5, it's expensive. Like, it's been a while since I've bought one, but I think last time I checked, they're probably about $120, $140 for a DSM-5. Do you have an idea, Micah?
Oh, something like that. I know the DSM-5 TR we were giving away as door prizes at our Summer Super Summit, and those were high ticket items. Yes,
high ticket items. Oh, what did you say, Mike? I'm sorry.
It said, yeah, they are very expensive.
Very expensive. And so hopefully this will make it a little more accessible. Also, what their aim is to make this more of a living document. So a living document means that they can update it a little more regularly, because right now, every time we get a new update, whether it is a new version of the DSM or a revised version, then we're having to wait not only for the psychiatrists who sit on the board to approve the changes, but also for that to be able to go to publication, and then from publication to our hands. And so by putting this online, making it a living document, if there are new findings in research, or we have a greater understanding of the etiology or the treatment of a mental disorder, then it'll be more likely that that information will be accessible and we won't have to wait for the next edition to come out. And that being said, insurance companies will have to wait for the next edition to come out. So if there is a disorder that is better clarified, or the symptoms are updated, insurance can reference the new DSM, so that way we can be reimbursed for that and not have to wait again for the new DSM-6 or what ought to come out paperback form. There's also, there's been some critiques about the DSM-5, one or the previous versions of the DSM. One of those is that the DSM really doesn't look at the causes or the maintenance or other factors that might influence mental health. Of course, we have our Z codes like parental stress or, stress within couples, but what they're hoping with the latest edition of the DSM is that they can look at things such as poverty, toxins, marital status, economic status, other things that really affect our mental health. It's also hoping to look more at the etiology, so like how mental disorders come into fruition. It's hoping to look at, not only does somebody have PTSD, but how does PTSD maintaining these other symptoms? And then last, this is the first DSM that's going to be looking at patient experience when it comes to diagnosing. And so we had a training last month with Dr. Kate Hardy from Stanford University. She did a 3-hour presentation on CBT for psychosis. And she talked about the importance, not only in informing their training program, but building the presentation that we were watching, of interviewing people with lived experience of psychosis to inform not only the treatment, but how we're presenting this information to others. And so what the DSM is hoping to do is incorporate those voices into this latest edition of the DSM, because in the past, it's been a lot of the psychiatrists make the decision of what goes into the DSM. And so they're hoping to not only look at other folks who represent or work in mental health, but also, again, getting information from those with lived experience of mental illness to help inform the identification of what these disorders look like. And so a lot of interesting updates. Not sure when that's going to come out, but I think it's really exciting to have it as a living document. I feel like that's going to be very helpful in informing our practice and helping us to stay up to date, not only in our practice, but hopefully insurance can stay up to date with what is considered diagnosable too. But Micah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm really curious just logistically how this is going to work. So it being a living document, yes, I think that's great with being able to update research and treatment and things like that, as you've already stated. But I also wonder, because this was a big moneymaker for the American Psychiatric Association. So I would bet you dollars to donuts that it is going to be subscription based. So I bet you it's not just going to be online free for all. I bet you it would be a website. And so then how would just even, clinics be able to pay for that for everyone in their clinic to have access to it, or would people have to buy it individually or things like that? So I wonder how that would work. The other thing I also wonder about is, are they going to be changing the diagnosing criteria over time? So maybe PTSD was the correct diagnosis for someone a month ago, but then it got updated. And so now that person wouldn't meet criteria for PTSD, whatever diagnosis, as an example. And so then how does that end up like going to like insurance and stuff like that? So I was seeing this person, we're working on this treatment plan, we're getting reimbursed by insurance up until this time. The criteria changed, and so now I have to give them a diagnosis. So I just really am curious, like how this is going to all play out logistically.
Same here, because like I think about even whenever I worked in the partial hospital setting, this was about 7 years ago at this point. That organization was still using CARF scores because CARF scores were still mandated by Medicaid. Well, CARF scores came from the DSM-4, which at that point hadn't been the main book that was used for at least 5 years. And yet our Medicaid still required the CARF scores. And so it's not only, updating for our individual treatment, but are the systems of care that we work within, are they going to be updating as quickly as needed? So I think logistically it's going to be a lot, but I'm hoping that ultimately it's a positive thing to help us to stay on top of the emerging research too.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that works out. So Hayley, what's going on at OCI?
So OCI, we have a lot of exciting things. So of course we have our legislative town hall, as we have already discussed. We also have approximately 80 hours of on-demand CEU courses. I'm sorry, 80 courses available in our catalog. But that being said, my friends, we are moving websites. So here in the next few weeks, we will be moving websites to a new platform. And so we do ask that you please complete all purchase courses by February 27th. February 27th, we're going to be shutting off the old website, moving everything over to the new. You will be able to access your certificates and everything on the new website, but you will not be able to complete your courses on the new website. We're able to move over data, but we're not able to move over course progress. So please complete all of your courses by February 27th, and then we'll be moving over to the new site soon, which I know it's a change, and I know change can be stressful, but we are believing that this is going to be a good change. The new website I know is very pretty. I know is very intuitive, and so hopefully you all enjoy it as much as we are, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's all about is customer experience, right? And so that's why we're moving to this new website is we believe it will be a better customer experience for everyone. It will be more intuitive, easier to navigate, and that's why we're moving. We're really excited about it. So yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But the last big change for OCI, along with changing websites, friends, it's been a wonderful almost 7 years I've been working for the Oklahoma Counseling Institute, and I've loved every minute of it. I'm very grateful for my role here. But I wanted to let you all know that after next week, I'm actually going to be leaving OCI. It's very bittersweet. Like I said, I've loved working for Micah. I've loved my role as the Director of Education and Community Outreach. And so I really appreciate everyone making my job so awesome. I love working with Micah. I love my team at Edmond Counseling Professional Development, but also, love seeing everyone with OCI. I know I say every year at our Summer Super Summit, it's like summer camp because I get to go to the Summer Super Summit every year and see returning friends, meet new friends at all of our in-person trainings. I meet people, being able to help you with your customer service needs, answer your phone calls, walk you through that renewal process. Like, it makes me really happy to be able to have had the opportunity to connect with so many folks in the world of mental health in Oklahoma and beyond. And so I want to say thank you all so much for letting me be part of your CEU journey, but ultimately part of your world these last few years. I'll be moving on to role outside of counseling. So I'll be keeping my license up, but I will be actually working in the board game industry, which, as many of you all know, is a passion of mine. I love board games. So I said it's a very bittersweet. I'm not leaving Edmond Counseling. I'm going to board gaming, but I know that I'm leaving ultimately. But it's really sad for me to actually leave. But thank you all so much again for the support all these years. I'll miss you.
Yeah, we will miss you very, very much, Hayley. And, Hayley has done so much for Edmond Counseling, Professional Development, and the Oklahoma Counseling Institute over these, as you said, past almost 7 years. And we've just really, really grown under your leadership and really appreciate all the work that you've done. And yeah, this is a wonderful opportunity for you, though, getting to go focus on game boarding and have a career in that. I know it's been a hobby of yours for so long, and you've done all types of really great things in that genre, and now being able to have a chance to have a career in the game boarding industry. That's just a fantastic opportunity. And so when Hayley told me that she's going to leave this change, and of course my first thought is, as an employer, what can I do to keep this person, here working for me? And whenever I found out where she was going, it's like I don't have anything to counter with that. Like Edmond Counseling is not going to become a game boarding company, obviously. So there was really nothing that I could do in that. But we will miss you very, very, very much, and appreciate all the hard work that you've done.
Well, thank you, Micah. I'll miss you all too very much.
So, hey, so this is going to be the last time that you're going to be on the Monday Lunchtime Digest with us. And so, who is our winner for today? And then also, what is our question for the week?
So our winner for this week is my good friend Jen Win Ling. Yay, Jen Win!
Hey, congratulations, Jen Win. So what did Jen Win win?
So Jen Win has won a free on-demand course with the Oklahoma Counseling Institute. And so
just email us, Jen Win, at hello@edmondcounseling.com, and let us know, and we will be happy to assign that course for you. So just pick out which one you want, and we will sign that on-demand course for you.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to be like Jen Win, and you'd also like to be entered into the drawing for next week's prize, you can do one of three or all three things. You can like this post, you can share this post, or you can answer today's question. Every time you do one of those three things, not only do you help us grow, you help us be seen by others, we also get entered into the drawing for next week's prize. And so that being said, our question for this week is, now that the weather is getting a little bit warmer, especially this next week, it's going to be in the 60s. What kinds of activities do you want to get into now that it's going to be a little bit warmer? How about you, Micah? Now that the weather's getting nicer, what do you want to find yourself doing?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's going to be here in the next couple of weeks, but now that we've gotten on the other side of this snowstorm and everything, I am excited to head down to the Wichitas. That's one of my favorite places to go in Oklahoma. So to go down to the Wichita Mountains and to spend some time in Medicine Park, maybe do a little bit of hiking. So I am really looking forward to that. So Hayley, how about you?
Same here. I love hiking. I love nature. We like to go on little day trips to areas. We love the Wichitas. We love Romanos. We love Black Mesa. So about the same, probably finding a place to go hike and explore, spend some time in nature. Martin Nature Park has a lot of awesome events coming up. And one of those that I really love is their Brush with Nature, which is an artist comes to Martin Nature Park and teaches you how to paint or draw a scene from nature as you're basking in it. And so I'll probably find one of those to sign up for here pretty soon.
Wonderful. So we'd love to hear from you. What are you looking forward to do now that the weather's starting to get a little bit warmer? Put that comment in the comment section. Like, share this post. Anytime you do one of those things, and you are entered in to win for free continuing education.
Yeah, so thank you all so much for your support. And again, thank you all for letting me be part of your life these last few years. Appreciate it. We'll miss you.
We'll miss you too. And thank you everyone for supporting Oklahoma Counseling Institute. And we will see you next time.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.